Welcome to the Property Corner with myself, Rowan Alexander. So in the final episode of this series, we're going to be looking at the importance of maintaining your investment. You've bought this house, you've invested a lot of money, it's important to maintain it. Maintenance, can be looked at in there's two. I sort of categorize them in two categories. One would be ongoing maintenance, that you would see sort of as a preventative maintenance, or sort of the common maintenance of cleaning gutters, repainting, fixing damp, knocking skirtings back, and the sort of general maintenance that we would see that a property would require, physical hard maintenance. The other would be from a sort of a market point of view, where you could adapt and maintain your property. I call it maintenance, but where you could adapt in your property to keep up with market trends. So let's first look at these sort of, let's call them the hard maintenance items. So everyone knows or may have heard of the broken window syndrome. And the broken window syndrome says that if you leave one window broken, with time, the entire property will degenerate up until a point where you realize that you need to, address that. And then very often it's a costly exercise. Remember that maintaining your property doesn't always have to cost a huge amount of money. A lot of that work can be done yourself. Tackling painting projects, tackling tiling projects, while it might not be everyone's cup of tea, that is an opportunity where you can work on your own investment with your own hands. Or you could leverage the benefit of friends and family or people you may know in your network that could assist you in maintaining your property. I'd encourage you to do that, because a property that is well maintained and well looked after always achieves a good asking price on the day that it sells. And it also sells a lot quicker than a property that hasn't been maintained. If you consider the value in the area to be 2 million rand, but your house requires 300,000 rands worth of maintenance to get it on par with the average home in the area, what else could you expect than receiving 1.7 million rand offer, on that home, if it's still going to take another 300 to get it up to standard? So this home that you've bought, you're going to have the benefit of living in it, but it's also a financial investment. So be sure to keep your hand on it. Be sure to look after it. Be sure to maintain it, because letting that degenerate is going to cost you money. The second category of maintenance would be one that's more from an almost strategic and market point of view, whereby there's certain adaptations that you can do that make your property more desirable for you to live in, and also the day that you were to dispose of or sell it or rent it out. Something that's pretty relevant are things like solar power. A couple of years back, it was things like water independence. So having boreholes, when Cape Town was going through its droughts, having boreholes, water tanks, those were a hot topic. Today, it's electricity, getting inverters, solar panels, batteries, and making your house more energy efficient. This is a typical example of maintenance work that you can do that will place your property in a more desirable position when compared to other properties in the area. But also, you will have the benefit as the homeowner of enjoying the advantages of having those systems in your home. It doesn't have to be linked to the latest sort of craze and trend. It could also be reinvesting in your property in areas that are gradually expiring. Remember that over time, I grew up in a home where my parents built a house 30 years ago, or at the time they built a house and they sold it 30 years later. If you were to build that home 30 years later, you would do it a lot different. Old homes used to have a lot of segmented living areas. Today, the trend is to go to more open plan living. These sort of adaptations can be done over that period of ownership, whereby you keep your home desirable with the latest trends. Redoing kitchens, redoing bathrooms every 10 to 12 years. These could be things that you could do as a investing, not just to make the house more enjoyable for yourself, but also ensuring that you stay up to date with the latest trends. So if you follow this advice, you'll be ensuring the annual growth of your property. You'll be ensuring that that initial amount you invested, you get the maximum return the day that you're going to sell it. Times have changed, trends have changed. People are staying in homes for an average about 7 years now. Historically, it was a lot longer. The way in which we view home ownership is changing. It's important that you position yourself that you could easily sell that home when the needs may arise. It's not only places you in a position of more liquidity, but it also ensures that the investment that you've made, that you've worked so hard towards, is actually preserved and used to the best of its ability. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I hope that you'll find that ideal and dream home, and that you'll enjoy it. So thanks for watching.